people's front yard Halloween displays. There was a guy in North Carolina whose family now is understandably distraught because the landscaping crew thought that his dead body was a Halloween display, and so they mowed around it. He was kind of off the beaten path. So there's a lot of questions there that still need to be answered. The guy had a history of substance abuse, but I think the local authorities don't suspect any foul play. But Melissa sent me some photos. She said, every year I do a political-themed display, which those are words that, make a lot of people pucker up. But hers are in her front yard. She's got the Dead Women's March. And it's like skeletons in, I don't know if they're supposed to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg
if you
or
want
what.
To throw those up on the middle screen.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see here. Wasn't sure what I could show you. Hold on.
Wrong.
There we go. How about that?
There we go.
Fighting fascism from the grave. Dead Women's March. Sojourner Truth. RBG. Of course, the requisite vote yes on issue 1. That goes without saying. No justice, no RIP. Yeah, so I don't know where she lives. That's a flex, boy. And I don't know who could argue with that fundamentally, but I think there's a lot of people, they see anything.
Oh, they'll find a way. Yeah.
You think so?
Always, yeah.
Huh. People mad at fighting fascism?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll be like,
World War II, that was the whole point, right? I know there's, even back then we had, they filled Madison Square Garden with Nazi sympathizers. So I realize everything old is new again, but it is strange to me, the things that are somehow controversial. So, yeah, that Ruth. Now, for all I know, part of this might not be a decoration. She may have exhumed Ruth Bader Ginsburg's actual remains and somehow put them in her front yard. And that would be a real get. I don't know where RBG is interred, the notorious RBG, but there it is. Did I mention I got money about 5 or 6 minutes? Another $1,000 courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. 5 o'clock, I'll have the last trip this week to L.A. for our Alter Ego Festival. We do that big thing. It's a nice opportunity to get you out of Cleveland in January and send you to L.A. We do the music festival in Vegas. We do Alter Ego out in L.A. This year it's going to be at the Honda Auditorium in Anaheim. We normally do it at, what's the Staples Center now?
Oh, crypto.com.
Is that what it is? Oh,
yeah.
Maybe that's not what I'm thinking of. We usually do it at another venue, but there was a scheduling thing this year, so it's going to be in Anaheim, but it'll still be a lot of fun. We mentioned that our friend Intense Randy has already won one of those trips, so who knows? Maybe you'll be seated next to him. By the way, earlier in the show, when we mentioned at the top of the show that Poundcake is going to be going to 2 Monsters games over the course of 2 nights, and I think we rightly assumed it was just probably because he had sweet passes or a food voucher or something like that. But
I'm a booster.
You are a booster. That's true. I mean, when anybody talks about who are the biggest Cleveland Monsters boosters, Poundcake, as he is the newly minted best sports talker in Cleveland, right there at the top of that list. But somebody, maybe Steve, said, hey, I'm going to be in seat whatchamacallit, and I'll buy Poundcake a beer. Do you know where you're going to be?
No, not as of yet.
Oh, okay. He's going to be at C121.
I don't know where that is.
Well, they have signs that will point you to various. Here's what you do, all right? Because I said, he was texting me, and I said, oh, what's your name? Where are you going to be? And he said, I'm going to be in C121. Steve from Middleburg Heights. He said, I'll even buy Poundcake a beer. So here's what you do. You get yourself to C121, and then you just go, Steve! Repeatedly. Hey, anybody here named Steve? Now, 40-plus guys will probably raise their hands. But you can winnow that down. Middleburg Heights. And probably 10 arms will go down. And then you can figure it out from there. But what a way to make new friends.
I'm down with that. As long as he's a booster. Go team.
Go team. Poundcake and them Cleveland Monsters, boy. He is...
Smell the testosterone in
He
there.
loves it. Yep. Wants to see those guys getting in fights. I'm going to be at the Romo Fijo on Sunday night. I'll be at that Kiss show, and I only mention that because I'm going to be giving people floor tickets. So we're doing a Show Your Buzzard event, and we do this pretty frequently, where it's like, hey, you're wearing MMS gear, we can upgrade you. So I'm going to be there, Corey Roddick's going to be there, Stansbury's going to be there. We all have floor tickets, and so I'm going to be looking for people further up from where I am. I'm not on the floor. I'm in the 100s, I think. But I'm going to be looking for people in the nosebleeds, and if somebody's wearing MMS gear, I'm going to give them floor tickets. So that'll be fun. That'd be a great time. The very last Kiss show, asterisk or not, in Cleveland. Let's say it is. That was my thought. You know, the joke is that these guys have been doing a farewell tour for the last 30 years, and that's only half kidding. But my thought was, what if it is the last time? And I've never seen a full Kiss show. So that's why I'm going. My son's coming in. We're going to go to Kiss. He'll be my cameraman because I'll be filming the people who get upgraded. It'll be a whole thing. Yes, Nate Bargatze hosting SNL next week. That's right. Giving away those tickets. Foo Fighters making their first return to SNL after Taylor Hawkins' death. They haven't been there. That's a couple of years now, right? Taylor Hawkins been dead. Is it going to be a couple of years next March, maybe? I feel like he died in the spring.
Yeah, I think it'll be 2 years in the spring.
March 25 of 2022. So it'll be, 2 years next spring for Taylor Hawkins. I was also reading a thing about how The Exorcist, they just dropped that reboot of The Exorcist, and I don't think it did nearly what they thought it was going to do. It's called Exorcist Believer. I was going to go see it, and then I was like, I'll just wait for it to stream. But the original Exorcist, I was talking to somebody this morning, and they were talking about Halloween movies, and they were like, do you have a favorite scary movie or one that, blew your mind? And I said, not really. I grew up on a steady diet of horror movies. But The Exorcist sticks in my mind because I was so young when I saw it. It came out in 1973. By the time I was 10, it was on network television. I still don't know. They must have sold an assload of commercials because The Exorcist, edited for television, had to have been 45 minutes long. And so just with all the awful stuff cut out, it, blew my face off as a kid. I was terrified. A low Catholic boy where you go, that could happen, all that dumb stuff. So I was terrified. Didn't watch it again until high school. So that OG Exorcist, and if you've seen newsreels from the early 70s, there had never been anything like that. There are lines around the block for this movie. People passing out in the theater. People screaming. Women, they would stick a microphone in their face, a local news in Times Square, and these girls would just be sobbing at this movie because it was really intense. So I was reading a thing this morning. They were talking about how The Exorcist is turning 50. And it was, quote unquote, based on a true story. There was a story of a boy in Seattle who had supposedly been possessed. The movie The Exorcist had come from a book. There's a book called, it's called The Exorcist. And the book had come out in 1971. They adapted it into the movie. And the article was like, the original Exorcist is turning 50. And I was thinking, that makes sense. It probably came out at Halloween. So I looked it up. The original Exorcist came out the day after Christmas, which is genius. Whoever the marketing department there, that is genius. Because normally these days you think a movie like that, they dropped this Exorcist reboot a couple of weeks ago. Because they pushed it up a week or back a week or something because they didn't want to go up against the Taylor Swift movie because they knew that was going to blow everybody out of the water, and they were right. Taylor Swift didn't even go through a studio. They just put it out.
She doesn't need to. She
doesn't need to.
Everything herself.
That's right. Doesn't need to. So I thought that was hilarious. Exorcist drops December 26th, 1973. And yeah, I didn't watch it again until I was in college. There was a Saturday night one weekend, and my girlfriend's like, what do you want to do? And I said, I'll tell you what I want to do. I need to watch The Exorcist, and you're going to watch it with me because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. It's a classic movie. I can't be a horror movie fan in good standing and be a legal adult and still scared of that movie. And so I watched it with her. And at the end, I was like, okay, it's kind of cartoony when you get a little bit older, but it was still dynamite. I can watch it now all the time. Love that movie now. But when I was a kid, I just was pissing myself. That and the original Amityville Horror were two. Because again, I'm growing up a Catholic kid where all that crap is put into your head that that's all real and it's possible. And then you get older and you go, oh, that's all nonsense. That's all silly. Silly. The people have devils in them. Silly. It's a holdover from when, people didn't know anything about science or medicine or so. But a great movie. And the stories are interesting too. I remember reading the Exorcist book, and it's a terrifying book because William Peter Blatty, who was the guy who wrote it, great author, just a fantastic job with that book. Hey, Woody.
Alan.
Let me give away this money real quickly, and then I'll get right to you. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. Listen closely, and I hope you win.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
What's up, Woody?
Nothing but the rent. How you doing?
Hey.
Good. Hey-oh. He's got it.
Guys, I've been up all night long drinking absinthe and doing some little crystal.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, drinking absinthe all night. You got the slotted spoon and the sugar cubes, too?
You better believe it, McMillan.
Nice. What's that?
And this is what I came up with. Are you ready? Wait for it.
This is why, Cody.
Looking on chili dog. Looking on the chili dog. Looking on the chili dog. Looking on the chili dog. Looking on chili dog. Wait for the refrain. Looking on the chili dog. Looking on chili dog. Looking on chili dog. Is it working for you?
I got to tell you, I like
I
it a
love
lot.
it.
It
I
feels
love it.
derivative, but it's a Friday, so I'll allow it. That's fine.
It's a nice tribute.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what's bananas before you cut me off is I got so enthralled about the Exorcist movie. I was going to be sitting on a crucifix. Sitting on. But anyway, that's another.
What? Last time I did
Never quit while he's ahead.
Last time I did absinthe, Woody, I got engaged.
Always
So
leave them. Hey, Bill, me and Jen are coming to your show, baby. We got tickets.
Oh, thank you.
hey, look at that.
Which one are you talking about? The taping?
The 24th, 23rd, the Christmas show, right?
22nd, yes. December 22nd. yeah.
Woody's going to miss it by one night. He's going to be at the door of the Agora going, hey, I got these tickets for the 23rd.
Yeah, the comedy special taping at the Agora, December 22nd. Thank you, Woody. I can't wait to see you there, bud.
This absinthe is great, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Really good. He's
Yeah,
out
it
there
is.
working his fingers to the bone, Woody. He's out there on the guitar. Okay, thank you, Woody. I appreciate that. Your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers. Bony fingers. That's right. Bony Fingers, by the way, a very funny young man who's going to be opening the Bill Squire comedy taping. It's going to be Martin Malloy, who was just recently voted Best Male Comedian by Cleveland Scene Magazine. There's a standard deviation there of, plus or minus one. And then Mary Santora, who is on this show occasionally. And Bill Squire, your headliner, recording a new hour for his new special.
Very
and then
excited
that
about
will premiere on YouTube, I assuim?
Well, we don't know yet. So
Or will
we're
you
gonna,
go the Taylor Swift route and just send it right to the theaters?
We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see if I can get my the Swifties to come out.
The Squifties.
The Buy Squires.
Oh, that's great. The Buy Squad?
Yeah.
That might bring a different group of people there. But
You know what? If they're buying tickets, I don't care.
the Squifties,
The
yeah.
Swifties, get the Swifties out there. But no, I'm working with a producer, and we're going to,
Produce.
shop it to a few different agencies and stuff like that, or streaming services. I have some contacts with different places that put out content, whether it's going to be Netflix or HBO or some other YouTube channel where they buy it from me. That might be a thing.
Gotcha.
So it just all depends. But it's going to be, it's a big event. So we need people to buy the tickets so it looks as good as it's going to, as funny as it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. A multiple camera shoot.
7.
It's a 36 camera. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, not quite 36. We're doing 7.
All right.
Maybe 9, something
All
like
right.
that.
You going to have the sweeping arm, the jib, or what's that called? You going to have the guy in the thing?
Listen, if we sell it out tomorrow, yeah, we could probably swing that.
All right.
But honestly, in comedy specials, I don't like when it's too, like...
Produced.
You talk about how things can be overwritten. I don't think when things are over-filmed. Because, like, Amy Schumer's new special is a lot of that sweeping arm shot, and I would rather not think about the cinematography. I think you just want to... You can keep it real simple with stand-up, and it doesn't matter.
Well, also, usually people doing that are in theater shows or comics at that level that are shooting like that, it's because they're trying to show how big the audience is.
Right.
So it's more of a flex than anything that makes sense.
And we'll have big audience shots like that. And there's ways you can do it without the big, you can kind of cheat it with modern technology. You don't need the...
Show the same row over and over.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying you don't have to rent the giant crane like you would have to for some that costs a lot of money.
I like when they used to do, like, HBO used to do the half-hour comedy hour, or they would do... these shows that would have up-and-coming comics, they would have them in the theater. And it was clearly a showcase that they would then chop into, their particular segments. But they would, like, the B-roll was them showing, like, the same people laughing. It was like an old Flintstones cartoon where they would run the length of the house and the same tree and window would go by. That's how they would cheat those old comedy specials like that. Hey, Nancy.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I was just wondering, did you ever see the Exorcist director's cut?
Oh, I sure did. I have like the...
That's the first one I saw. I saw that in theaters in like 2000 or 1999 when they released it in theaters.
I think I have like the 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary DVD or something. It's got that documentary on it.
Yeah. I mean, I had to turn on the lights when she came down the stairs upside down with her head turned.
It's pretty intense, yeah. I mean, it's wild.
I mean, that's what I was just wondering.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. There's Nancy out in Broadview Heights. Bills fans should be called the Squirties. All right, well, that's something too. Something to consider.
Hello, Alan. Well, thanks to you, I can never listen to System of a Down without hearing Poundcake in my head going, la 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 la. Love me, love you, to hate the show.
Yeah, that was the System of a Down, BYOB is the song that led into the show today. And I was singing the same thing. I hear Poundcake too when we play that. Anytime we play that song. La 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 la. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good. That's right.
Well,
and then Poundcake gave a 2-hour speech on the Armenian genocide.
Well, that's too bad. You guys ruined computer love for me, so...
Ruined it?
You
improved it. What are you talking about? It was your very first song here on the show.
I can't hear that song without hearing myself, which is not how I intended it. I wanted to hear. Is it your face I see? Oh, my computer screen.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know
From Zap, the Pride of Dayton, Ohio. What's that?
I don't know why I thought this was purged. What song of mine got purged?
Turd Burglar in Paradise didn't make it, which I'm really bummed about because that's my fault. I should have had that on disc somewhere.
Cut it.
No, we did it for Jamaica. It was very much of the time, and Erica did the background vocals on it.
We'll do Turd Burglar in Paradise, Poundcake's version.
PC version.
Right. So that's the one that comes to mind. There's probably a couple of other ones that were in the involuntary purge, but I have to take a break here. I'll have those Alkaline Trio tickets for you. If you want to go see Matt Skiba and the boys, they are coming back to Cleveland to play for you. And if you want to text me for anything else, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com to watch, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.